No denying Detroit has a vibe all its own. So how do you showcase that energy of the city?
Well, one man is doing something different, taking his own creation to make a new sound in the D.
Photographer Alex Atwell shows us how sensors, gloves, movement, and energy are all coming together to make something uniquely Detroit.
I sense a place. I sense places. Each place has a different kind of vibration in the air. Detroit is like so many things came out of here. The highway, the automation line, the middle class, the black middle class, Parliament Funkadelic, techno. There's an intense energy. I mean, even when you're just out in one of these open places where there's no people, there's an intense energy. So I just allowed myself to kind of flow with it. I create a form I call sono-cybernetics. I feel like there's a stream of radio signal coming right through here. Taking information generated from these sensors and the gestures and intention and transducing it through sound as an input and an output. These are exo gloves. The first knuckle, the lower knuckle, which is here, and they can be done individually. And so that's like 20 bits of data potential. I think if you focus more on the things that you think are most beautiful, I don't want to really deal with good and bad, you know, beautiful. Focusing on that and being in a place where other people are already focusing on it, it just kind of creates this kind of recursive, you know, toroidal energy source. You know, I feel that happening right now in Detroit. The air is just vibrating with energy. Good and bad and beautiful. So it's just a process of kind of discovering myself. And then I've always had a technological bent to things that I was into. So doing so with technology that just so happens to be embedded in an age that is exponential, it just feels like being born at the exact right moment and being in the exact right place to express and experience it.
All right, joining us now live in studio is Onyx Ashanti. Thank you for being here. Or maybe I should say domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. And speaking of the early 80s, late 70s, the whole George Clinton, Mothership, Parliament, Funkadelic sort of, there's a connection there to kind of what you're doing now, right?
Yes, Parliament, this is what I've learned since I've been here, being associated with the 1 Mile Project, where they let me use the space to express myself and to kind of contribute to some of the stuff they're doing over there. And they were the ones who told me of how Funkadelic and Parliament started here in Detroit, along with all the other amazing stuff that started here.
So the lunar module, lunar landing contraption you saw in the story that was behind you, that was sort of inspired by the Mothership.
Yes, that's the Mothership. And that was built by the 1 Mile and Dami collectives to bring, to look at the history of that area and then project it into the future as a model for what can be in that area next.
Okay, and it's a positive energy you're trying to bring to the North End. Sono Cybernetics, is that what you have on you right now?
Yeah, this is my attempt at making all the things that I've learned on the internet in the last 6 or 7 years, put them into a physical form.
Okay.
I'm a musician. I used to be a street performer, but I've played a lot of stage stuff. How
do they make sound?
Well, there's sensors. There's accelerometers in the palm, so they measure the rotation of the hands. Okay. So there's sensors on each knuckle as well. So I can turn things on, turn them off, you know, and modify them very quickly. The accelerometers act like 2 knobs on like a mixing control. So each one is 2 knobs. So I can change 2 things there, change 2 things there, and do everything very fluidly.
It's like iRobot, the Alan Parsons project.
Yeah.
You're like a walking concept album now that I think about it.
Thank you. Yes, this is something I'm looking at. I just got it to the point where I can take it out in public.
Yeah, speaking of which, where can people see you perform?
Well, that's the thing. With this, I wanted to not focus so much on music on stage. I wanted to focus on music as part of life. That's why it's Cybernetics, to have that information thing. So just walking around town and understanding sound a different way.
That's one way to get around town. I bet if you got on the queue line, you'd probably get some people like, wow, what is this going on here?
Yes, that's the next step.
Thanks for joining us, Onyx.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Chuck.